Hey, brother.
Hey, brother.
So, Terminator 2 is one of the best movies of all time, probably.
Yeah.
My question is, would it still be an incredible movie if Sarah Connor dies in the first movie?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so Sarah Connor dies in the first movie. What does the
Yeah.
second movie even look like? Could you even make it a good movie?
We would have to rewrite Terminator 2
Yeah.
with no Sarah Connor.
Yes.
Linda Hamilton,
Yeah.
she's out.
Yeah, so this is like the same thing we did with Star Wars, where Luke Skywalker dies at the end of Empire.
Yes.
Yeah, so now it's like, what happens if, like, just like Marlon Brando's notorious for, like, leaving set in the middle of a movie, what happens if Linda Hamilton leaves set, at
That's
the
right,
end of
yeah.
Terminator 1, so then they have
Brando's
to
missing,
kill...
so now Linda Hamilton's missing.
Linda Hamilton's missing, they have to kill off her character, Sarah Connors, and rewrite the end of the first movie, thus what does the second movie look like? Holy cow.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's... there's a lot of different directions you can go in with it.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Yeah.
do you keep Kyle Reese alive? Kyle Reese is the guy from the future who comes back,
Yeah.
And then, like,
Yeah.
I almost feel like I need to do a brief Terminator synopsis here, where it's like Terminator's a movie about a woman
There's this
who's...
big Austrian guy.
Yeah. There's this guy from Austria. It's a movie about a woman who ends up getting pregnant, and her son becomes the savior of humanity because AI robots take over the world, and he defeats them.
Right.
So they send a Terminator, a robot, back to kill him.
Yeah.
And anyway, and then they also his side sends a human back to protect him. But the sender that they send back is Kyle Reese, who also happens to be his father, because him and his mother have relations. So he sends his own father back in time, basically, so he can be born, so he can save the world.
It's a bit of a time travel paradox.
Yeah, it's a fun little thing. But if Sarah Connors dies in the first movie, he's never born.
Right.
So it's like...
Right.
So you could have it where at some point the Terminator's still kind of like intact. He's not Skeletor yet.
Okay.
And then both her and Kyle Reese die. Like when they're in there's a scene where they're in a truck in a tunnel and they're throwing like pipe bombs, and maybe one of the pipe bombs goes off, blows them both up. And now the Terminator is still alive. And now you could have it where the second movie is the Terminator's won the first movie. He's defeated John Connor, who's never been born now.
Yeah.
But now there's like the second in command.
Right.
So there's this interesting thing that happens during war where they'll be like, oh, we know this general is going to be on this plane.
Yeah.
And we can take this plane out. However, should we? Because if we take the plane out, then the second in command takes over, and this guy might be worse than the first guy.
Yeah, he's even crazier than the guy who's in charge.
Yeah.
Like, do we really want him?
Yes. So it's like, you could take out the general, but the general's got seniority, which is why he's in charge.
Yeah.
And the second in command, we actually know he's probably the better general.
Right.
So there's always that situation where, yes, John Connor is a great general. Yes, he saves the world. But maybe the guy in second command is an even better savior of the world. So now the Terminator's programming would be, who's the second in command? And now I'd go after him.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, there's this weird thing in the Terminator movies where, like, they're always like, what happens if, like, we die? And the Terminator's like, then I have no purpose. It's like, no, like, you would just go to the next objective, which is to save the next person in line.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like maybe that one particular Terminator would not have a purpose anymore because he only has one objective.
Yes.
But, like, them as a whole...
Yes.
Like, they have a very binary objective, which is to defeat the humans. If John Connor's gone, then there's still a bunch of other humans out there.
Yes,
and,
yes.
like, potentially somebody who could, just take the reins. If John Connor's not there, they don't all just sit there and get killed off by the robots. Somebody takes the reins and says, okay, I'm gonna see if we can fight back.
Yes. So I think the Terminator's objective would then go to the second in command.
Yeah.
Who just so happens to be Ted McGillicuddy.
What?
Ted McGillicuddy, that's the name of the guy. That's the name that I'm giving the guy. Ted McGillicuddy. Ted McGillicuddy.
You said the name like he was somebody who existed in the Terminator universe.
He does now.
He does now, okay.
Ted McGillicuddy is second in command, and we don't really know how good he's going to be as first in command, but we know he's second in command, so he's at least really good at something.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, when you have your American football coach is usually pretty well-rounded good, but then you'll have like an offensive coach and a defensive coach and a quarterback coach and all these other stuff,
Yeah.
So Ted McGillicuddy's specialty is maybe like hacking or something like that.
Okay.
So his approach would be probably to go at it from that direction as opposed to like this frontal assault that John Connor has, this more like aggressive, like, no, we have to storm their base, take them out from there. Ted McGillicuddy's approach is a little bit more laid back and like, no, we need to like, dig tunnels so we can get like our cables into their mainframe and then we can just hack them, that he's something like that. He could be something else, but so that could be what Terminator 2 is now there's Ted McGillicuddy who's but you could have it but Ted McGillicuddy at this point is still a young person as well. He'd have to be like, maybe he's 10 or 15 years older than John Connor, but he'd be like a 15-year-old at the most, probably at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the movie wouldn't really have to change all that much from Terminator 2.
Yeah,
or maybe it would, because
he would just roll
John
right
Connor
into it.
Who sends the T-100?
Yeah, John Connor sends Arnold Schwarzenegger back.
Okay.
Yes, but it doesn't mean. But now we're basically creating new timelines in these movies.
Okay. All right.
Where like a Terminator goes back, a new timeline has been created. It has a weird like loop, but it also is creating new timelines at the same time.
It might actually make more sense for somebody who's like a hacker to think like, no, let's not send one of our people back. Let's send one of the robots back. It's like, I'll just reprogram it.
Yeah. You could, you could still have a Terminator 2 situation, but I think you would just have Terminator 1 almost like Halloween, where right at the end of Halloween 1, Halloween 2 begins. Right at the end of Terminator 1, the beginning of Terminator 2 is basically like the last scene of Terminator 1, and then now they're just moving straight into Terminator 2, and the Terminator is now headed towards Ted McGillicuddy, and you have this sense of like, okay, like, and you can even see the list that he has too of people, like maybe he has a list of people, and there's like 3 of them. So now he's hitting. Ted McGillicuddy's like his number 1 priority now, and now and then he's got like 2 other priorities. And at the beginning of the movie, you could have it like where in the first one he's taking care of all the other Sarah Connors because he just doesn't know which one's which. Yeah. In this one, he's taking out the other guys in the list, and now you know like this is the high command that takes down the machines. And taking out John Connor was a huge hit, but we still have a chance. And if he takes out, now he's taking out number 4 and 5, and 3 guy. And now if he takes out the number 2 guy, because he's the only guy left now that we're like locked into this thing, we're pretty much toast.
Yeah.
So then you just have that movie of like now it's kind of like now the news is maybe showing this guy, like there's this guy that we can't stop who's going around taking people out. He's already taken out these people, we believe, and now he's heading after these guys. So now it's like people are on kind of like the lookout for this guy. So when Ted McGillicuddy sees him, like for the first time, he knows like, oh, I know to run. Yeah. Then once he gets the sense of this guy's coming after me, now he knows I have to I gotta actually evade this guy. I can't just run away like everyone else. Yeah. He's actually coming after me and hunting me. So, but that's just one direction to go in. Yeah. It's fun, but it's not like I'm not as invested. Yes. Because it's a sequel. Yes. It feels like a sequel. Right. Like we're the The other direction
The other
is
direction.
you keep Kyle Reese alive.
Yeah.
Sarah Connors dies, Kyle Reese stays alive.
Yeah.
And now you could have it where Kyle Reese defeats the first Terminator. But Kyle Reese now has... so you either go in the direction of Kyle Reese is scanning kind of like obituaries, seeing if... and he's been doing this now for like years.
Yeah.
You know, like now it's like maybe like 10, 15 years later. He's scanning obituaries, seeing if there's that same style killing of these people are dying with the same name.
Okay, yeah.
You know, because he knows the Terminator doing. So he's scanning all these different things. Maybe he's looking for like, has there been some weird electrical fluctuations in the atmosphere recently? Like on days where there's no clouds, no skies, but for some reason there's a weird electrical flux. You know, he's scanning for all these different telltale signs that he knows means a Terminator is there.
Yeah.
You know, that nobody else would maybe know. So his job now is to find maybe either the next John Connor or to find the second in command that he already knows is the second in command and protect this guy.
He could create the next John Connor.
Yeah, he's just
go planting his seed all over town.
He's out there clubbing every night, picking up the ladies. Hey, you want to come back to my place?
Want to save the world?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Kyle Reese is a real jerk.
No, I like that actually. That like him finding kind of the second in command. Because, like, he's in the war, so he knows these people.
Yes.
And he knows that they're children. He knows they're about what John Connor's age would have been, like, whatever. Yeah. And he's like, I could try and find these people.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe train them, give them some early training. Like, they're just kids now. Like, they don't know.
Yes. So he would be trying to find the second in command. I think the second in command is going to be younger than John Connor.
Yeah.
So he's not sure how old any of these guys are, because if you're living in this weird world, you don't have a sense of birthdays or anything like that. He just knows the guy's older than him.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, he's kind of like waiting around. He knows the guy's name, you know. And then he's got to like be kind of doing what the Terminator's doing now, where he's like looking through this list, trying to find the names of people. So I think it's even cool, like starting the movie with him, where it's like 10 years later, and it just shows him like kind of like walking the streets, and he's kind of like he's now the guy going through the phone books, like looking through the names. Then visiting people like with this exact name, the Ted McGillicuddy. He's looking through the phone books for Ted McGillicuddy, you know. And now he's finding like Ted McGillicuddy's, and he's kind of looking at them, and he's like, that's not him. And he's like walking, and you don't even know what's going on yet. Yeah. You know. And then at some point though, I think the Terminator comes back. Now the second Terminator comes back. And then now Ted McGillicuddy's are getting killed, and now he's kind of getting clued into it. Yeah. Where he's like, it's got to be this guy now, you know, like I hope he didn't kill him yet. And then you can have still that cool scene where like Arnold comes back too. Yeah. Like the future people sent back Arnold to protect, and Kyle Reese like has this like, oh my gosh, you're the guy who killed Sarah. Yeah. You know, and you may have just destroyed our future. Right. But we still, so it's kind of that thing. But that actually might make for a really interesting movie.
Yeah, no, I think that it would. I think that there'd be kind of like a real good dynamic between Kyle Reese and the Terminator. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be far off from, Sarah Connor's dynamic with the Terminator. Like he feels the same way that she does. Yeah. Or it's just like, man, like I just don't trust this thing.
I mean, he would hate it even more.
Yeah. Because he sees it all over the place. He's like, this is the face that's killed his friends.
Yeah. There's a completely different route of taking this thing.
Is there?
Yes,
Okay.
I
What do
think.
you got?
So there. Okay, so remember that Christian Bale Terminator Genesis movie?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why that movie sucked.
Okay.
And it's not the fault of the movie. It's a perfectly fine movie.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
what we wanted was we wanted a movie that was set in the Terminator 1, Terminator 2 future timeline. That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
We wanted
Yeah.
a movie where humans were underground, and then when you went above ground, you were in the fight of your life with Terminators walking around, just picking everything off, and things flying in the air. And there was really no way of getting around on the surface other than you fought your way from point A to point B.
Right.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
Where you could have had most of the movie underground and had those humans connections, but then had those scenes where okay, now we got to go from here to get to Bravo base,
Right.
and it's 5 miles away, and to get there you got to go through, the craziest stuff in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. That's what we wanted.
Right.
So what you do is you make that movie. So now Kyle Reese is still alive, and he's lived now all the way to the Terminators.
Yeah.
And he's older now. He's like a 60-year-old guy, whereas John Connor would have been maybe 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's 60, but he's trained himself now to become the leader because he failed. He failed to save John Connor. And now he's like, I know John Connor would have won. I don't know if I win. I don't know.
Yeah.
But now we're in that timeline, and now all the flashbacks are actually back to the past of him living his life in the past.
Yeah.
And and here's the weird thing that you could do. You could make it where him living his life in the past was harder on him than living his life now in the future as an adult man. Where now he's an adult man living his life in the future, but he grew up in this world, and it's normal to him, and he prefers it.
Yeah.
And the past was difficult, where he's in a mental institution, and he's getting put in jail, and he doesn't know how to he's trying to work some job, and some guy makes some snarky remark to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I used to be respected.
Yeah.
From the leader, the savior of humanity used to treat me like I was his brother, and it's because he was his father the whole time. But he used to treat me well, and now I've got this guy, while I'm the manager at a Kinko's, I've got this guy over here talking trash to me,
Yeah.
And he just grabs the guy and throws him over the counter, So he's just getting fired from any job he's ever had. He can't handle the normalcy of the real world. And once he gets back to this future world where it's all you have to do is defeat Skynet.
Yeah.
Keep everyone alive, defeat Skynet. He's like, I know how to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll fail, but this feels normal to me.
Yeah.
And now you have that movie. You have the Terminator movie that we all wanted, which was show us that future world, the one that we saw in Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 during the flashbacks.
Yeah.
Show us that world and have a movie set in that world.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like that. I think, man, that might be my favorite one. It's just
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
if we follow Kyle Reese, it even makes sense for 60-year-old Kyle Reese to be sort of the general.
Yes.
Where it's just I have more experience in this than any of you.
Yes, he's been preparing for it. He's he's now the guy that he knows what's going to happen. Yeah. Because he was already there.
Yeah.
And he even kind of knows how to defeat Skynet.
Yeah. But he knows more about it than John Connor did.
Than anyone did. The issue though is that he's not John Connor. And I think it's interesting if he, at the end, loses.
Huh.
But he's happy because he at least feels like I gave it everything I had.
Yeah.
I failed, but I gave it everything I had. I don't think you end the movie like that because the audiences would hate it.
Yeah.
They would hate having this two movies, 4 hours of you watching through this movie only to see Kyle Reese inevitably lose to the Terminators. But that's actually the way you should go with it. that no, you do need John Connor.
Yeah.
You can't. John Connor is the savior. Even if you know what's going to happen, you're still going to fail because John Connor just has that X factor.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
John Connor's the guy. If I know, the last shot of the basketball game is a swish, I can know that. But if I'm the one taking the shot, I'm going to miss it because I just don't have that X factor that LeBron James or Michael Jordan or whoever, they have,
Right.
Wilt Chamberlain. No, I'm joking. I'm going back into just gonna keep
Jerry West.
Yeah, Jerry West. Yeah, just keep going back. Bill Russell. How far back are you gonna go, guys? But I don't think anyone would like that. So I think you do end it where Kyle Reese actually does win, and now he's redeemed himself. He failed to protect John Connor, but he redeemed himself in that he had the knowledge though to save the world. And now that's almost like that's kind of the weird loop there, where John Connor sends Kyle Reese back almost maybe knowing maybe he doesn't know, but there is that Kyle Reese could potentially save the world, but that's only if you keep Kyle Reese alive. Yeah. When there has to be a point where Linda Hamilton just doesn't show up.
She doesn't show up to work.
She just doesn't show up to work. Yeah, then you just.
It would have to be before Kyle Reese dies.
Yeah, I think it would probably happen during the car accident. So they're in the tunnel. They get in the car accident. Right after that, they go into the factory where they start turning on all the machines. And then they crush the Terminator. But right when the car crash happens, you could have it there where Kyle kind of looks and she's gone.
Yeah.
And he's
her head's missing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, why?
What? That is needlessly violent.
Yeah, they didn't have to do that. We couldn't get the
really
actress.
Wanted to get the point across.
We couldn't get the actress, and her twin sister wouldn't show up either. Both her and her twin sister. She does. Linda Hamilton has a twin sister.
I know.
So
they pulled off
used her. Yeah,
some practical effects using that.
Yeah, they used her twin sister in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, they get her twin sister to do the rest of the movie, and she's just terrible.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not an actress.
Yeah, but Kyle, I love you. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. Our love will last for eternity through the future past. What? Stop improvising. Stop improvising.
Future past.
But yeah, a lot of different routes you can go. There's probably more variations that you could take just to kind of get yourself started in what would this story look like. I think it could actually be. It's hard. I mean, the problem is now you're getting rid of Terminator 2, so you could never never like a different version of Terminator 2 because you can't. You don't want to get rid of Terminator 2. But it would be cool to have, if we still got to have Terminator 2, to have an alternate version.
Yeah, this is the alternate universe.
Yeah, what does happen if Sarah Connor dies in this one timeline, and now you have Kyle Reese as the savior of humanity. Yeah. Basically, now he has to redeem himself after this catastrophic failure.
Yeah. I like that you have him get all the way to the future and then fail again.
I know, isn't that so, there's something really...
You know what? It's I'm just going to send myself back to the past again.
But he's happy about it. The thing is, he's happy about it because he at least feels
he's happy about it because
I did what I had to do.
He spent the last 20 years working at Kinko's, and he has to deal with people. He's like, maybe they're not worth saving.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe the Terminator
suck.
Yeah, bring on Skynet.
What do you want to complain about now? What do you want to complain about now? No, wait until Skynet comes. Yeah. Destroys you all. All right. That third version I think I like best. It's he actually he trains himself. There's 2 Kyle Reeses there, kind of leading the charge.
Yeah, that would be a younger Kyle Reese. There would be a younger Kyle Reese.
Unless he sent his younger self back to the past again to try and get John Connor back.
Yeah, he could always kill his younger self, so that he doesn't have to. So that he doesn't have a.
Not that you do it to himself what the Terminator was trying to do to John Connor. Yeah. He wouldn't exist because he killed himself.
What if... Ooh, this is so interesting because Kyle Reese... Yeah, Kyle Reese now has old man version and young man version. Yeah. Then Kyle Reese sends young man version back in time to save Sarah Connors because he knows he's going to fail.
That's what I've been saying.
Yes, okay, I didn't catch that.
I said that.
You got to say it so a second grader can understand. This time travel stuff is starting to freak me out, man. Okay, so he sends...
The younger one's like, I'm going to kill you, but I can't because then I'll die. The older one's like, that's not how it works. Yeah. He sends his younger self back.
Yes, and now you have a completely different Terminator 1 movie as far as Kyle Reese is concerned, because Kyle Reese is now trained by... What if Kyle... Oh my god, dude. What if Kyle Reese in the future is calling himself John Connor? And he's sending Kyle Reese back to save Sarah Connors.
Yeah.
Because that's what he did. And he knows... Now when Sarah Connors dies, he's now thinking back and figuring it out like, wow, I actually think
there was no John Connor.
I think I'm John Connor, and that guy that everyone used to say like, he looks like an older version of you, you know? Ha 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 ha. Now I'm starting to realize why he looks like an older version of me. He sent me back so that if I fail, I can just live like he did, then save. So at some point, you could even have it where John Connor lives, maybe the first timeline. John Connor lives. Once the Terminator gets sent back, John Connor always dies. And now Kyle Reese has to send himself back in this infinite loop. But Kyle Reese ends up winning. Yeah. Because he knows, what's going to happen because he's already been there.
Yeah.
But the original Kyle Reese does actually know and remember John Connor. And there's something kind of like bittersweet about it, where he knows like, I'm going to have to keep sending myself back. And I know once we get into this loop of having to time travel and send back, I know I fail every single time.
Yeah.
And but he can't prepare Kyle Reese for that. He has to do the same thing John Connor did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that Kyle Reese goes back and kind of lives through this thing again and defeats the Terminators again.
Yeah.
How weird would that be?
Yeah. I like that. At first I thought you were saying it would have been like another time travel paradox where there never was a John Connor. But then there would have to be a first.
There'd have to be an original John Connor for him to have that idea of John Connor. Yeah.
There's a 90-year-old Kyle Reese there. There's 3 of them. Yeah. Like, how did this happen?
Why do you stop sending yourself back multiple times? You're going to go back and I'm going to go back with you. No, I'll just go by myself, okay? He's all holding the hand of his younger self. Stop holding my hand. Yeah, but I think you could definitely do some really interesting things with it.
Yeah.
The cool thing is, Michael Biehn at this point now is like 60 or something.
Yeah.
The guy who played Kyle Reese, and you could actually have him like redoing the role as like his older self.
Yeah.
Then you could have just a younger actor play the younger Kyle Reese. I'm one of those people who actually hates the de-aging technology.
Yeah.
Like when all the
cool
CGI
when I
people,
first saw it.
I can't even watch a movie with it. It creeps me out. Like all the CGI people stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, it looks terrible to me every single time I see it. It never looks good.
Yeah.
I don't mind Gollum because it's like not a human.
Right. Yeah.
Or Jar Jar because it's not a human. I mind Jar Jar for other reasons, but I don't mind Jar Jar as being like a thing walking around. I mind it when you put a whole human CGI next to a real human.
Yeah.
That looks weird to me.
I feel like it was cool when I first saw it. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, I kind of prefer it when you just do like a different actor who portrays the younger.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Marlon Brando did it in The Godfather. They didn't de-age Marlon Brando. They just had Robert De Niro play him.
Yeah. Well, that's because he refused to show up to work.
Yeah, I know. Then when Marlon Brando didn't show up to work, they didn't age Robert De Niro. They just rewrote the scene.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So there's another movie that you mentioned to me a little while back. A couple episodes we wrote a curling movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there was another movie that you said, like, there's never really been a movie about this either.
Yes.
What?
The wingsuit.
Why don't you take that? The wingsuit.
Yeah, they haven't. We need a wingsuit movie.
We need a wingsuit movie.
So the wingsuit is that thing where people jump off of a cliff.
Yeah.
And then they have like this bird suit on.
Yeah, it's like a flying squirrel.
It allows them to glide.
Yes.
Now, the trouble with this is that it appears as though everyone who does this at some point dies horribly.
Right.
Because it's not it's not like having a parachute where you're slowly falling. You're falling fast.
Yeah.
And you don't you can't go up. You're always going down.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is, like, they like doing crazy stuff too. Like, there'll be little like mountains with like holes in the mountain.
Yeah.
And they'll go through the hole in the mountain.
Yeah.
You know. And sometimes they don't make it.
Right.
And there's really interesting stories, like, where people are like, yeah, like, I'm like, there's like this like husband-wife team, and she's like, yeah, he used to do this like really complicated thing where he'd like swing out and go through like this like hole in the mountain, Yeah. And then I wouldn't be able to see him, and then we'd come out the other side and like glide next to each other, and it was like really like this cool magical moment. And like one day I'm gliding and he goes out, and then never comes back.
Jesus.
Because he hit the side of the mountain.
Yeah, yeah.
And it turns out when humans do that at like 200 miles per hour, they don't make it.
Yeah.
We're not a very robust species.
No.
Yeah,
we're a bag of meat.
We're very fragile.
Yes.
As it turns out.
Yeah.
But
can't take a 200 mile per hour hit to the wall.
Yeah. The question is, how?
Yeah.
Like, what's the storyline behind the wingsuit movie?
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking with, like, when you mentioned it. I was like, well, what is the story? Do you just go like full kind of like 80s, like
Point Break?
Point Break. No, I was thinking more like Better Off Dead. Where it's like there's like the skiing competition.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you think you could wingsuit with us? And there's just like those guys, and then there's like the dorky guy who ends up like, ends up beating them at the end.
Yeah. But
the bullies like hit the wall, they all die.
Yeah, at the beginning of the movies, there's like 8 bullies, You think you can wingsuit with us? And then at the end of the movie where they have to wingsuit, there's like 2 bullies left.
Just a bunch of them.
6 of them have just gotten wasted. And you could make it like, there's like a 90s movie called Airborne that's about rollerblading.
Yeah.
If people haven't seen this movie, you need to watch Airborne. It's like one of my favorite like guilty pleasure movies where it's not a good movie, but it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
But there's this rollerblading like battle at the end where they start out on top of a hill.
Yeah.
And then they're just going down the hill, like 2 teams of like 30 people. Yeah. Going down a hill, and people are just biffing it and getting hit by cars, and and they're like racing to the end of this like spot, and it's like first 3. It's kind of like a cross country race where I actually ran cross country, and I have no idea how the point system works in cross country, but like where like first place gets X amount of points and second place gets X amount, so you don't have to come in first place, you just have to have your team come in top places with enough points to actually win. But anyway, you could have it be something like that, where it's like there's these 2 teams.
It's just like 30 wingsuiters.
Yes.
And they're all just like flying into each other. And
there's
my gosh.
There's just like 2 teams of there's like 60 wingsuiters starting out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And now you've got like so many people there that like people have to like dodge and go through the like eye of the mountain,
Yeah.
Like boom, and one guy just doesn't make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the end though, everyone survives because it's a Disney movie. But anyway, this thing you could make it really good if it's like rated R. Because kind of like I mean, you could do a Point Break style thing too, where it's like, I think Point Break, the second Point Break, the remake may have even had a wingsuit section.
Wingsuits in it. Yeah.
But yeah, the trick is you don't do. They do this in every movie nowadays. You don't have a scene in the wingsuit movie where a guy's like diving and there's like water, and then he like, and then you're showing like him like skidding the water like real close up, like, because now like you've taken people out of the movie.
Yeah.
If you have that scene, you do it a long shot.
Yeah.
So that you can actually see it happening, so you know someone's doing it, and it looks cool.
Yeah.
But the moment you close up on like somebody's hair getting like, you know, like rustled from the axe being thrown, you know, or like their hair hits the mountain.
Yeah.
You're like that's cool in like the 300 where it's this stylized comic book movie.
Yeah.
But when you're making something that's supposed to be real life, you can't do that stuff. This isn't an anime.
Right.
Like, it's cool in anime, it's stupid in a real life movie, unless it's The Matrix, where like that's, you know, anyway. I'm saying keep the real stuff real. You have to stay within reality. You can't have cool stuff in the real movies.
No, yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of like one of the things that draws you to a lot of the silent films, like movies in the silent era. They didn't do a lot of like close-ups. They just kind of like, they had these wide shots and they just filmed everything. And then there were these people that were like brilliant stuntmen and vaudeville players that knew how to take a fall. And they'd be like jumping off of like a second story and landing on somebody, and like they all do like all this stuff that's crazy and ridiculous, and I could never do it in a million years. Yeah. And they do it all on camera with no cuts.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's really
some
cool.
Some of the most impressive stuff I've seen.
Yeah, some of the silent stuff, you know, the old stuff before CGI.
Yeah,
was really impressive. Yeah, they all were just doing it.
Yeah.
Or you were creating a special effect to make it look like you were doing it, but then the special effect that they created was like as impressive as if they actually did it. You know, in order to get the illusion, but
the ingenuity.
Yeah. I actually think the airborne wingsuit style might be the funnest way of making this movie, where it's you have a group of people, they're kind of competitive in all these different ways, you know, they're wingsuiters. Then you have like kind of like the law after them, because
you dang wingsuiters.
Like you have people kind of getting arrested for it, you know, because you're not allowed to be doing this stuff. Then at the end, you know, they're like trying to set up this thing almost like in a Footloose way. Like, we're setting up a dance, but it's illegal. They're trying to set up this like race, this wingsuit race between the two teams.
Yeah.
And they're like on top of the mountain, and you just see the cops coming, like, you know, like running after them to get these guys. Like, you guys can't jump off this mountain, you know? And they're just like, you're just watching like 60 people like, you know, jumping off of this thing. Yeah, like maybe a cop.
One cop puts on a wingsuit.
Yeah.
Puts some flashing light on his back. Jumps after them.
So you can have a couple guys get grabbed by the cops, you know, and just guys like flying. But then you have this whole like, you could have like a 15-minute scene of just like flying, and these two guys that are like going head to head with each other, you know?
Yeah.
And like, and it's cool because like as they're like kind of hitting like head to head, like flying, you could have people just kind of like diving to like gain speed.
Yeah.
But then like now you're getting lower and lower and lower to the ground, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like the ground's just getting closer and closer, but they're so competitive.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man.
But it would be a brutal rated R movie.
Yes.
Because like when people are crashing, you're just like, you can't really act like, oh well, you got hit by, you know, a car on your rollerblades, but you're okay. Yeah. Like you're smashing into a cliff at 200 miles per hour.
That would be the most fun way of going about it. Is that like the airborne kind of like all those people, like that big giant competition.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the least fun way of going about it.
Okay.
Is going the David Cronenberg body horror version of the wingsuit movie. Where a guy just starts turning into a wingsuit. That would be probably the least fun way. Very brutally rated R.
Yeah. Is there a different route to take the wingsuit movie that's like more Point Break, like the original Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, where you're like serious about it, and the wingsuit is kind of like the main focus of it, kind of like, hockey's the main focus of the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, that's kind of where the difficulty comes in, is that it has to be about wingsuiting. It can't just be wingsuiting is in it, because wingsuiting has been in movies before.
Yes.
But it's like, this is about wingsuiting, so it has to be. Man, I don't know. I don't know if there's like really a way that you could go about it other than like that airborne way.
Well, you
it's
could.
Like, no, like this is what they do. Like this is It's like a dirt biking movie is about dirt bikers, and then there's the one guy who comes in and is like, well, I'm going to do it too. And they're like, yeah, you can't do it, we do. But like that's what the wingsuit movie.
Because if you're looking at like examples, then you got to look at movies like Terminal Velocity with Charlie Sheen, where he's like a parachuter. He's like a professional. He's a professional like like what's like a skydiver. He's a professional skydiver. But there's always that like caveat of like, but this one is there's these criminals, and now he has to use his skydiving skills to defeat the criminals. Or you have like cliffhanger with Armageddon is maybe the greatest oil drilling movie ever made.
It's the oil drilling movie.
The oil drilling movie Armageddon. Yeah. But yeah, you have Cliffhanger with Stallone. Then you have Vertical Limit with Chris O'Donnell. Yeah, but they once again go the whole like, now there's criminals that have stolen something, and the cool thing about Point Break is these guys are extreme athletes. And Keanu Reeves, who also just so happen to be bank robbers. And Keanu Reeves is an athlete who just so happens to be FBI. And that's where they clash. As opposed to, I can climb cliffs really good. Yeah. We're criminals, and somehow your cliff climbing skills interact with us, Like it has to, you know what I mean? Like they don't... it's forced, it's shoehorned in how these guys meet, as opposed to Keanu Reeves meets Patrick Swayze because... they might have met anyway. Yes.
Even if circumstances didn't lead, even if like the FBI didn't send him in there, like they might have met on the beach anyway and started a friendship anyway.
Yeah.
Like, this is the kind of stuff that he's into on his spare time.
Yeah. So
but he's not out FBIing. Yeah.
But it's hard to find like a thing where like wingsuiting is the kind of that primary thing, I mean, But it's also somehow connected to this person, battle with this person.
Yeah.
You could do it kind of like Rocky IV, where. Like, you could have it where there's a guy who's a wingsuiter.
Yeah.
Quits. Then there's another guy who's a wingsuiter, and he is taking people out wingsuiting, and somebody that this guy's close to dies as a result. And he thinks it's this guy's fault.
Yeah.
Like, you're taking them here.
Yeah.
You're pushing people, Yeah. Then they have this, like, okay, like, your team versus my team, we race.
Yeah.
But they're kind of taking like, they're not taking amateurs, they're taking like the best of the best, like people who are like, no, we want this. Yeah. And they're talking this guy into it, like, no, our team needs to race this guy's team, and winner gets to say like what you do with kind of the amateurs. Yeah. Because we don't like the fact that these guys, like, we don't like their style, they don't like our style.
Yeah, they're Cobra Kai.
Yeah, they're too fast-paced, we're too slow-paced. But winner gets to decide for the wingsuit community how we approach whatever this problem is.
Yeah.
That we're approaching. Like, who has claim over this area, like Devil's Canyon?
No, yeah.
And that's like, now you can't fly in Devil's Canyon anymore because you keep killing people.
if the Cobra Kai wingsuiters are like,
Yeah.
They have a trial by fire attitude about like teaching amateur wingsuiters.
Yes.
Then there's going to be more like amateurs that are just like hitting walls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's another way of going about it.
Yeah.
I do like that actually.
Right. Then you can have
it's kind of the karate. It's the Miyagi versus Cobra Kai
and
wingsuiters.
And the bad guy, his name's like something like Ted McGillicuddy, and he's like I learned how to wingsuit trial by fire. It's the only way to wingsuit.
Yeah.
He's kind of got that attitude. Show no mercy.
Yeah. He's got a mohawk.
Guy. That's actually not bad. Now it's more of a Karate Kid style.
It's a reverse mohawk where it's just hair on the sides like wings. Looks like Larry from Three Stooges. It's like, it makes me more aerodynamic.
Somehow his hair is formed into a propeller on the back when he wingsuits.
Dude, that'd be great. Someone with a ponytail and it like propellers every time they wingsuit.
Yeah, so now they're trying to convince... They're basically battling for turf rights.
Yeah.
Because they're like, there's too many of us going down this thing. We don't like the way you guys are doing it. You're bringing too much heat on us because you're kind of like taking amateurs down paths that they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
We just want to claim Devil's Canyon and decide who can and who can't go down it. Our team decides. But they need, Cool Malloy, that's our hero's name.
Cool Malloy's.
Cool Malloy. He's just always wearing sunglasses. They need him, but Cool Malloy's retired. But he's the best. The best, I tell you.
Yeah.
He invented Devil's Canyon wingsuiting.
Yeah.
So now they get him back into it. Cool Malloy gets back into it because this guy ends up taking, what's it called? His younger brother or something like that. Or his younger sister or something down Devil's Canyon and ends up killing him. And they're like, we can stop this. We just have to race them. And he's like, how many people are going to die during this race? And it's like, but we're all professionals. We know what we're doing. We've all done Devil's Canyon. Like, we're going into it to save everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's that style thing. Gosh, it actually might, it would be so cheesy, but it could actually be cheesy.
If you lean into it, though, like, cheese isn't bad.
No.
You watch some of the better, like, cheesy movies, it's like, I always forget how good some of these movies really are until I rewatch them.
The Cutting Edge is a cheesy movie, but it's so good. It's so
great.
Much fun.
It has some of the best banter I've ever heard in a movie.
Yes.
Is in The Cutting Edge. And then, like, the Karate Kid trilogy. Like, the whole trilogy is great.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's just like, you sit down and you watch it and you're like, wow, like, this is actually a lot better than I remember.
Yes. Like, they made these movies with the intention of someone watching it and having fun.
Yes.
That's it. It's not, you're not supposed to be thinking about it, or it's not a life-changing, thing. You're just having fun watching this person succeed at this challenge.
Yeah.
And that's what the wingsuit movie would be.
I like it.
Yeah. Not bad, huh?
Yeah. We have time if you wanted to play a game. I've got a game.
Let's do it.
It's a game, it's called It's Not What You Think.
Okay.
And what it is I give you a description of a movie. It's a brief description.
Yes.
It's very obvious what the movie is.
Yes.
That obvious choice, that's not the answer.
Okay. Yes.
This is the description. The answer is a different movie that happens to fall under the same description.
Okay.
It is the less obvious answer.
Yes.
Is what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to give me the first one?
All right. Yeah. You ready?
Yes.
All right. A green guy with an attitude problem doesn't like the attitude of those around him and creates trouble.
Okay. I'm going to guess the Hulk.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Incredible Hulk. A green guy with an attitude problem doesn't like the attitude of those around him and wants them to have a different attitude. So I'm going to guess, so I haven't even guessed the obvious choice then yet. That's what you're saying?
No, I had a different movie that I thought would be the obvious choice.
A green guy has an attitude problem. Oh my gosh. What happens if I can't figure it out? Hold on. What happens if I can't figure it out? I'm not smart enough to play this game. Hold on. A Green guy. So is the guy actually green? His skin is green?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Hulk is the only person I can think of with green skin. Swamp Thing has green skin. The Toxic Avenger has green skin. Maybe like the creature from the Blue Lagoon has green skin. The Green Goblin has green skin. The creature from the Black Lagoon, yeah.
Right.
A green guy. A green guy has an attitude problem? Say it again.
All right. It's a green guy with an attitude problem.
Yes.
Doesn't like the attitude of those around him, and he creates trouble. You want me to give you these answers here?
Give me another hint. Is there another hint you can give me before we completely give up on this one?
Well, I mean, they're two different movies. So.
Give me the obvious one. A hint for the obvious one.
The obvious one is The Grinch.
Oh, The Grinch. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I thought would be the obvious one.
Oh, yeah.
The Hulk, Grinch. I guess the Hulk also works as an obvious one.
The Grinch is the obvious one.
The answer. You want me to give you the answer?
Wait. Is it The Mask? With Jim Carrey?
That's very good.
How hard is this? How hard is this game?
Look, you might not be able to guess any of these.
Really? Okay.
Some of these you might not have even heard of.
All right, go ahead. Give me the answer.
The Empire Strikes Back.
So Yoda is the green guy with the attitude problem?
Yeah, when we first meet him, he does not like Luke's attitude.
Problem.
He creates trouble for him.
Yeah, he creates trouble. Okay, yeah, wow. I don't think I ever would have gotten that.
Yeah.
Give me the second one.
All right, let's see. A man has super fighting ability, but doesn't know how he got those fighting skills.
Man has super fighting ability, but doesn't know how he got those fighting skills. Unbreakable with Bruce Willis.
Ooh, that's not bad. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let me know when I get the obvious one and when I get when I hit the other one. So yeah.
Some of the unobvious ones you might not get.
A man with what is it again?
A man has super fighting ability.
Yes.
But doesn't know how he got those fighting skills.
The Matrix?
No.
Man has super fighting ability. The Bourne Identity.
Yeah. That's the obvious. That's
the
what I thought
obvious
would be
one.
the obvious one. Yeah.
That's the obvious one. Okay, so I got the obvious one.
Yeah. This one, the unobvious one. I don't know if you've ever even heard of this movie.
Really? Oh my gosh, dude! What are you doing?
So I think I should just say it.
Wait. Well, let me guess first. Let me guess another one. Let me see if I can get another one first.
All right.
The one with Jet Li. Is one that I would think about. Can I get a decade? What decade does this movie fall in?
I think 2010s.
The 2010s.
Yeah.
Is the decade that this movie falls in.
It's pretty recent.
Yeah.
And it has the same two romantic leads that were in Adventureland.
American Ultra.
Yeah, I didn't know you'd even heard of that movie.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it twice. I like that film.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I never ever would have guessed that though.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, this is a really good game.
I'm
so curious to see if other people are going to get any of these because people are going to get them. People will get them.
Yeah, people will get them.
I'm just not smart enough to do it. All right, give me the next one.
A dumb bruiser gets a chance in professional sports because of his fighting skills.
Goon.
Yes.
Which one?
That was the actual answer.
That's the actual answer?
Yeah.
So the obvious one is Rocky.
Yes.
Oh, yes! Dude! Oh my gosh!
That was good.
You too can achieve something. Even if you're too stupid to achieve it, you can achieve it so long as you believe in yourself. Just like Rocky. I basically just became Rocky and Goon.
You just became Rocky.
I just became Rocky Goon.
I think that, and you also have kind of a better sense of the game. All right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so a boy sees ghosts.
Yes.
Sometimes mistakes those ghosts for being alive, although they are not.
The Sixth Sense.
That's the obvious one, yes.
Okay, so the obvious one is The Sixth Sense. I can't believe I'm doing this. A boy sees ghosts. Sometimes mistakes those ghosts for being alive.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is another one. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The Others with Nicole Kidman.
No,
That's one.
That's not bad though.
Boy sees ghosts.
I can give you the actor.
There's a Kevin Bacon movie that came out around the same time as The Sixth Sense. That's called something. I don't remember what it's called.
I bet.
But it's a
That's
ghost
not
movie.
what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the actor.
Anton Yelchin. I still don't know if you've ever heard of this movie.
Who's Anton Yelchin?
It's the kid from Alpha Dog. He was Chekhov in the Star Trek movies.
Yes. Okay. So there's a movie where this guy sees ghosts.
Yeah.
He was in Fright Night, I think, the remake for Fright Night. He was in.
I think he was, but that's not. Yeah.
And we're not talking about a Star Trek
heard of
movie.
this movie.
It's not. I'm trying to think of all the stuff he's been in, but I can't even think of. He wasn't in Friday, like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, was he? No, that was a different guy.
It's based on a Dean Koontz book. I don't know if that helps at all.
No, I don't even. I mean,
I'm just gonna tell you. There's no way. It's Odd Thomas.
Odd Thomas. Never seen it. I don't even know what that is.
If you've never even heard of it, probably. Yeah, it's actually a lot of fun. It's worth watching.
This is a good game though.
Yeah.
I think this is actually a better game for you.
Yeah, maybe
for you to be guessing, but I don't think I'm smart enough to come up with the clues.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. It might just not be how your brain works.
Yeah. All right. Hit me with the next one. Let's just keep this.
So a father tries to teach his son about the family business, but he dies. The son reluctantly takes on the role of his father.
The Godfather.
That's the obvious one.
That's the obvious one.
Yeah.
Son, the family business, but he dies. The son reluctantly takes on the family business. Okay.
I'm being a little liberal with the word business.
Okay. Oh, you are talking about Star Wars.
No, but that's not bad.
Oh. Yeah, because I was thinking of Luke and Vader.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Come on, brain. Come on. A son. So there's like a son that's basically taking over for his father. It's not Terminator, right? We're not talking about like Kyle Reese and John Connor.
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh jeez.
You want a hint?
Yeah, give me a hint.
It's animated.
It's animated. CGI animated or hand drawn?
Hand drawn. Yeah.
So there's a son that takes over for his father in a hand drawn animated film. You just completely disappear. You show up on my side. What? Holy cow. Why am I having so much trouble with this? It's animated. It should be something kind of more... Is it Disney?
Yeah.
It's not Aladdin.
No.
Oh my gosh! Why? What Disney film is there where a son takes over something for his father?
Yeah. Is there any strong like father-son dynamics in a Disney movie that you could think about?
Strong father-son dynamics in a Disney movie.
Yeah.
No.
1994, I think.
Oh my gosh! It's The Lion King.
It's the Lion King.
Oh, what an idiot Dude, people are going to be guessing that one like crazy.
All right, this one I think you might be able to get actually really quickly. But actors are mistaken for the heroes that they portray. This misunderstanding brings them into a dangerous situation where they must now save the day.
Galaxy Quest.
That's the obvious answer.
That's the obvious one.
Yes.
Actors are mistaken for the heroes that they play. My Favorite Year?
No, that's a good
one,
movie,
though, huh? Yeah,
yeah,
it's a good one. People are going to be looking that one up.
Yeah, it's a good one.
They're like, My Favorite Year? What's that?
Yeah.
Actors are confused for the heroes that they play. It's crazy. I draw like a blank, and then there's just nothing happens after that.
Yeah. Well, in Galaxy Quest, there was a whole ensemble.
Yes.
In this other one, there's only 3. And 3 is also in the title of the movie.
Three Amigos.
Yes.
Why did I get that? No. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, even sometimes with the clues, I can't get these. But yeah.
We got a few more here.
Yeah.
All right. A teen in high school gets super strength and agility, becomes a bit of a show-off, and then learns a valuable lesson.
Teen Wolf. Which one?
That's the non-obvious one.
Really? Teen Wolf's the non-obvious one? The obvious one? Wait. Let me see if I can guess the obvious one now. So Teen Wolf is the answer. The obvious one is a teen gets strength. That's Spider-Man.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, dude. Oh my gosh, this game has nothing on me sometimes. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
This one I don't think you're going to be able to get because it's a little vague.
Okay.
But in this movie, a robot becomes close to and learns to love the person who commands it.
Okay. So RoboCop?
No.
Wall-E?
No.
Star Wars?
No.
Short Circuit?
No, but I was going to have that be the answer. And then I decided to change it to a different movie because I thought it'd be funnier.
Bicentennial Man.
No.
How many robot movies are there? Terminator.
Which one?
2.
Yes. Terminator 2 is what I thought would be the obvious answer there.
So Terminator 2 is the obvious.
Yeah, and then Short Circuit is what I was going to have, and then I changed it.
You changed it to a different one. Okay. Yeah. Say it again. Say it. Yeah.
It's going to be hard to guess because so in this movie, a robot becomes close to and learns to love the person who commands it. And the reason this is hard is because in the answer, it's not the main plot of the movie; it's a subplot.
Okay, a subplot. So you're talking about Solo, a Star Wars story. No. You're talking about it's not a Star Wars movie.
No.
Okay.
But I do talk about this movie a lot, and I think that we've mentioned it in this episode.
Metropolis? No. I'm trying to think of every movie with a robot in it.
Yeah.
A robot?
It's not at all a robot movie. It's just an 80s movie, so they had to have a robot in there for some reason.
You're talking about Rocky IV.
That is what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh, that is a great one, dude. That is a great one.
Oh man. So I got 2 more.
Yes. Let's do them.
All right. Our hero fights the Nazi war effort in order to keep an ancient artifact out of the hands of our villains.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That is the obvious answer, yes.
Captain America, the first Avenger?
Yes.
Yes!
Yeah.
You're kidding, I got him?
Oh, you got him.
Oh my gosh.
Last one?
Yeah.
Okay. Characters have to fight to the death in a brutal game show that is broadcast to the masses?
Okay. I have two guesses.
Okay.
Right off the bat. The Hunger Games.
That's the obvious answer.
The Running Man.
That is the answer, yes.
Yes! Oh, man. That is a great one.
Yeah, that is... It's not what you think.
Yeah. It turns out you just always have to pick... you always have to pick a really obvious one, like the Hunger Games, then back it up with an 80s film. Yeah. That seems to be my wheelhouse.
Yeah, this is the 80s movie that they remade into the best-selling hit. Well, I think that those are some good pages. So until next time, brother.
All right. Later, brother.